Hi everybody. I hope you're having a nice Sunday afternoon. So I'm here to give you a little tour of some of the items that I discuss in the book, This Sweet Life. It's kind of how I got into the grief section for myself of the book, and I thought it would be kind of interesting to show you some of these things. So let's see, the first thing I'm going to show you is actually the last thing I talk about, and it is this scarf. So, Kirby, we are in my bedroom. That's where we're starting out. This is the floral silk scarf of Kirby's that I talk about and describe. This is something that Kirby had always had in her homes, like for as long as I can remember. It was something that she would use to decorate. Sometimes she would wear it, and it's just really beautiful. It has these like sparkly bits in it and this beautiful fringe that's like so airy and light, and I just loved it. And when I saw it in her house, I thought, oh my gosh, this is just so Kirby to me. So that is one of the things. And I wore it in when I gave my victim impact statement for James Ray's trial. I wore this because I wanted to have something of Kirby's with me. And the next thing I'll show you is this Faux Fur Bolero jacket, and as I describe in the book, it's something that I thought, okay, maybe I could actually pull this item off, but in reality I have not been able to wear it, but I have given it to my daughter. It lives in our dress-up drawer now as something that she'll use to play like a snow queen or even a polar bear or something like that, and I think Kirby would approve, and maybe at some point I will find a way to wear it myself. She definitely got it at a secondhand shop. It's like totally an old lady item of some sort, but it's still pretty cool. Next we have, there's the book. I had it with me to make sure I covered everything I wanted to talk about. This is the necklace that my husband and I bought for Kirby when we were on our honeymoon. We went to visit a shop in the town of Hvar town, on the island of Hvar in Croatia, where we had our honeymoon. And it's just like this gorgeous, gorgeous necklace. Her friend owned the shop and makes all these handmade pieces of jewelry, and it's just beautiful. We weren't able to give it to her before she died, which was a real bummer. So it was something that I discussed in the book. It kind of took me a long time to actually be able to take. My mom had it for a long time before I felt like I could actually have this one. I still haven't worn it yet. One piece that I do wear, though, is Kirby's aquamarine ring. That is there. It's this beautiful ring. She had this made in Thailand when she came to visit me at one point. She had gotten all of these stones from a job that she had worked, and she traded her painting work for these a whole bunch of these stones. So I actually borrowed this for my something blue on my wedding day. So I have that from Kirby, which is really lovely. And she had so much jewelry. We have like a million of these different various pretty little boxes of like that different jewelry items are stashed away. This is another one from Thailand, I think, and there she just had so much jewelry. It was totally her thing. She loved it. Next I'm going to take you downstairs, and so you're getting a little tour of my house here too. Let's hope I don't fall down the stairs. I've done that before with my phone in my back pocket, and actually it was pretty intense. I just bent the phone. I didn't break it. It just bent. It still works though, which is kind of amazing. All right, so here we are in my living room. Actually, that's the painting of my house. I think somebody talks about this in the book, whether it's my mom or I. Our friend Jackie Schwab painted that for my wedding present, which was really lovely. And here we have, it might be hard to capture, these are the crystals that Kirby made. She and her partner, Nancy, her painting partner, they had started making these really beautiful beaded chains that they were kind of offering as decor items. And actually you can see, I don't know if you can see it in the video, they at certain times of day when the light goes right through, we get these rainbows all over the place, which is super cool. Like the whole floor will be covered in these rainbows, which is just beautiful. Sometimes when I'm doing yoga even I'll see them, and that really makes me remember Kirby. The next thing I have over here is this Buddha statue. Kirby bought this when she was visiting me in Thailand again, and I have a lot of Buddha stuff kind of all over the place. Thai Buddhism is a really beautiful tradition that I kind of like to keep with me, and a lot of the philosophy of the religion is something that has sort of helped me through, I think, dealing with the loss of Kirby. Let's see, the next thing, oh, there's our whole family. The next thing I can show you is super cool. Oh my gosh, hand sanitizer's up there because COVID times. This is the Apothecary Cabinet. Kirby had gotten this in Mexico, and having some dynamic lighting issues again here. That seems to be my theme. Yeah, this was handmade by a guy in Mexico, and so it's a little bit wonky, which is super cool. Like some of the drawers are not quite the right size. Sometimes if you take a drawer out, it won't fit into a different spot. You have to make sure they'll all fit in. It's pretty fun. Let's see. Next thing I wanted to show you. Yeah, we've lived in 4 different places since Kirby passed away, and it's been in all of the places with us. Most of these things have followed us and been in different spots. Another thing I discussed in the book was like a diploma that Kirby and I got from a cooking school when we were in Thailand together when she came to visit me. I don't have the diploma right now. It's tucked away somewhere, and I need to get a frame for it, but I remembered it kind of as I discussed getting this little postcard from Kirby. One day I opened this book up to make something, and I guess I hadn't opened it up in a while because I found this in there, and this is just like signature Kirby Brown. There's "Hello, sweetie darling," and this is her handwriting, which is so beautiful, and like her signature there, Kirby with the curlicue. It's just like, if you ever got a postcard or a letter from Kirby, you'll recognize this immediately. Her little wave there. Yeah, it's just, it's amazing. So when I found this, actually just like fairly recently, a few years ago, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And there's also a note in the book itself too. Sawadika. So that was really fun, finding that from her. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is one of my favorite things. This is the painting from Elizabeth Rosefield. She is a woman an artist who lives in Baja where Kirby was, and she was a very good friend of Kirby's. She's kind of like a mother to all of the community who live there. And it was fun to describe this painting in the book because it's just so beautiful. And I tried my best to capture how beautiful it is, but I feel like everybody really needs to see it for themselves. So yeah, this was in Kirby's house, and I felt really quite honored to be able to take this one. Right now it's in our living room, dining room area, which is nice because we can see it all the time. Previously it had been in my bedroom, and yeah, so this was, it was interesting. While I'm gonna flip back to myself here. While my mom and I were writing the book and we were trying to kind of come up with the grief section, we had a lot of thoughts about grief, and it was one of the goals of the book that we had. We really wanted to share some of those insights that we had gained with people, but it was kind of hard to figure out how to do that. Like, I had so many different ideas and thoughts that I wanted to share, but I didn't know how to kind of tether them to something, to put it in a format that people could really consume. So one of the first things I started writing about was when I was coming back from Kirby's memorial in the Baja, and I was at the George H.W. Bush Airport in Houston, and I was a total dick. And it was because I was carrying all of these extra items of Kirby's back from her house, and I didn't really want to be carrying those things. It was kind of sad. It was kind of a burden. And as I started writing about that, I listed those things, and then I thought, oh, maybe this is a way that I can kind of access some of those ideas that I had about the grief by talking about some of these different objects. The experience of gathering somebody's things after they pass away is really awkward and odd. It's, you know, sometimes you end up with something that's so beautiful and you're grateful to have that, but it feels like strange to be taking these things because the person who owned them is not there anymore. And I felt like there was something interesting to discuss in that concept, because it's something that everyone has to go through when you lose somebody close to you. You end up having all this baggage with you. And it can be a blessing. It can also be kind of hard to manage sometimes. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little tour. I just thought it might be interesting for everybody to see some of these items, especially if you've read the book. And if you haven't read the book, then maybe it'll interest you a little bit in some of the things we're talking about. So anyway, thank you to everyone who joined me, and I will see you later. Have a nice Sunday. Bye.